restaurants offer a set menu, but our next guest likes to mix it up so the menu never gets stale. He's adventurous by nature, even taking on Food Network star Bobby Flay. Here to tell us about his restaurant Roost and his latest chef challenge. Welcome, Chef Kevin Naderi. Good morning. So, Bobby Flay, tell us about this show that's premiering Thursday night?
It's coming out tomorrow night. It'll be 9 o'clock Houston time. Really fun production. Had a good time. Went out to New York in December, so it's been a long wait.
Yeah. Okay, so what's the premise of the show?
The premise of the show is basically you go against another challenger. That challenger goes against Bobby Flay. Winner gets bragging rights. It's really, really fun. Probably took about 12 hours of shooting, really extensive and stressful, but yeah, it's literally full blown. You get in there, you go against him. There's no real secrets or, you know, hidden agenda that they have. It's literally, let's throw down.
Okay, when you say reality, this is probably closer to reality than most other shows out there.
I was shocked. He shoots 2 episodes a day. He's from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. He goes home and showers. He works at one of his restaurants till almost midnight, gets up the next day and does it all over again.
Yeah,
so
Bobby Flay and I worked together on a show
in
New York City, and it was he made a salmon burger, and I bit into it, and that's where I actually had my brain aneurysm that burst. So I always say that. I said, Bobby, your food is mind-blowing. It's so good. It's so good. But anyway, all right, so you opened your first restaurant like in your mid-20s.
I was 25 when it opened, yeah. So I was the chef at another place called Haven in Houston for about 2.5 years. Unfortunately, didn't see a bunch of growth, so I branched out on my own. Just kind of jumped in the pool, got a small, manageable place, and December is going to be 5 years already. So
yeah. Okay, let me ask you your best advice, because there are so many chefs out there, the creative chefs that really want to do this type of thing, all want their own place. They want to put their own stamp on it, but it's easier said than done.
Well, one thing I learned was I always thought it'd be easier to like jump around at a bunch of different restaurants and work in 12 different places and gain a bunch of experience, when later I learned that if you stay in one place and learn as much as you can in a growing restaurant, then it's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah.
So,
all right, what are we making today?
We're going to make a gnocchi. It's basically like a gnocchi, but gnocchi has potato. This one doesn't. So your base is going to be ricotta cheese. So if you want to help me out, I'll crack these eggs for you. We're going to put about half of this cheese in there.
Okay. Put it where? In here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And then I'm going to crack these eggs straight into it. It's a very easy, user-friendly pasta, if you will. It's pretty impressive to your guests. They're really going to enjoy it. So this is a little bit of Parmesan cheese we're going to dump in here. Some flour.
And everything's fresh. And one of the things with your restaurant is that, like I mentioned, the menu could change you know, on a dime, because you do what's fresh at the moment.
We change the menu literally every 5 weeks completely. It's fun because it's farm to table to an extent. Probably about 60% of the menu is. And being so small and manageable, you know, we can do whatever we want and play with the menu. So.
And only in Houston, you have flavors of America, Asia, the Middle East, everything kind of mixed in together.
I'm Iranian American. I was born here, so it's still good to like play with your heritage a little bit and do what you know. So I try to
mix it up like Houston.
Mix it up, yeah, exactly. So this dough, you're just going to mix it, guys, until it comes to a pretty much this state. So it's going to look like mashed potatoes, if you will.
Okay.
So we've got some of the magic of TV already made.
So that's where it gives you kind of that gnocchi type of feel.
Yeah. So we're just going to take a little bit. We use a scoop at the restaurant just because it looks kind of, you know, uniform and easy. You can use a spoon. So we're basically just going to dump it into a pot of boiling water with a little bit of salt in it. I would put a little bit of oil just because when that pasta comes out, it's going to touch that oil and it'll keep it separate for you. So I'm going to go straight into a pan with it here and make our composed dish. So that's going to be our pasta.
Okay.
And then
where'd you get the name Roost from?
Roost, funny enough, I had another name picked out that just wasn't the greatest, and it was Varak, which is the Indian word for edible gold. And I came home and I told my parents, and they're like, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. So I basically, I was sitting at a coffee shop with a dictionary, and I was like, well, what should I do? And I came back, and we used Roost because it's a comfortable place to lay your head, a nest, and basically like a home. So since we're in an old house converted into a restaurant, it just made sense. So there we go. So we got a little bit of butter. Pan's gonna be a little bit hotter than I want, but I'm just gonna take it off, let this cook down a little bit. Brown butter is actually okay with me because it tastes a lot better in this dish. I'm gonna go straight in with some tomatoes, guys. These are local heirloom tomatoes. Ooh. And so the tomatoes are gonna blister just for a second. You want them to get a little bit warm and crackle and pop.
I think I got something on my shoes.
A little butter, we're good.
You're in the kitchen with the chef, and you're like, yeah, stuff is fine. Got a little butter on my shoes right there. There we go. All right.
So I'm just gonna saute a little bit of fresh spinach also. You know your pasta's done when it starts to float. These guys are kind of moving around a little bit. So I'm gonna take them out in just a second.
Let me just go ahead and say you are a proud graduate of one of Houston's local schools, at culinary schools.
I am. I went to the Art Institute of Houston. I'd been in every culinary, you know, off-school, off-premise activity since middle school. So I've been working in restaurants till I was about 16. So I've been around the block a little bit. Always been in Houston, which is good. So.
Yeah. All right, you finish that up, and we're going to come back and taste it in a bit. But you can watch the all-new episode of Beat Bobby Flay tomorrow night from 7 to 10:30 at 8th Wonder Brewery alongside Chef Kevin. Celebrate with food, beer, and great music. Admission is free, and the first round of beer is on Kevin. Yes. Well, just as Houston's food scene has skyrocketed, so has our music scene. So why not combine the two? The band Muddy Bell will help celebrate with Chef Naderi tomorrow night, but we'll hear them up next. Find out where they